Now, it is Father's Day, and happy Father's Day to all those dads around Australia and New Zealand. Australia is forecast to spend $800 million on Father's Day gifts this year, but with millions of Australians living in lockdown, what are consumers looking to be purchasing? Joining me live is Fleur Brown, Chief Industry Affairs Officer at the Australian Retailers Association. Thank you for getting up so early for us. Look, I was reading some information yesterday. It looks like people have gone bananas buying everything.
Well, look, it's great to see that on the whole, people are spending as much as or even more than they were last year, which is quite incredible, really, about $93 on average per gift.
Oh, that's good. I often get a leaf blower or something like that as a birthday present or Father's Day present. But what kinds of things are people purchasing for dads?
Well, it's probably no surprise that alcohol tops the list. Certainly one of the top purchases in this pandemic. So alcohol and food are the most popular gifts this year. Also, a few of the usual suspects like clothing, shoes, sleepwear. I guess socks probably sneak into the clothing category. Books, music, DVDs, games, and tools, hardware and gardening, although I'm sure that the tools and hardware have been purchased previously in the pandemic, if our numbers are anything to go by. Vouchers and gift cards make quite a strong appearance this year as well, which is, again, not surprising given that that's an easy thing to purchase online and you can sort of delay the choice until later.
We've seen companies like Prezi and others really emerge in that online space with gift vouchers. How much has that moved from your viewpoint over the last 18 months? Of course, there's still bricks and mortar shopping going on and that will continue, but tell us a bit about that change.
Look, sure. I mean, online is still sitting at around 11%. Now, having said that, in the last Australian Bureau of Statistics figures, there was the highest online purchasing month in history. So this lockdown that we've seen, particularly the extended lockdown in New South Wales, has seen the online purchasing really rise. It will continue to rise. Our predictions are in the next few years it'll go to 20%. So just keep in mind that's still 80% of purchasing happening in stores. If you are in retail and you don't have a strong online presence, you're really suffering through these lockdowns. That's really the only means to maintain some kind of revenue stream through the period. There
is a certain sense of suffocation, isn't it, when your biggest city is locked down for the period of time that it has been locked down for. June, like there's some sort of encouraging news this morning that October things will start to open up because the vaccination rates are tracking quicker than they thought.
Yeah, look, it's fantastic to see those vaccination rates tracking up, and retailers are certainly bracing themselves for the return to stores. So they're looking to support the New South Wales government with their, I guess, what will effectively be a pilot for Australia with that reopening plan to ease back in.
And Christmas will be enormous, you would expect, if everything happens the way that we're hearing.
That would be amazing. There's certainly a suppressed shopping effect that you see whenever consumers come out of lockdown. We don't know exactly how that will play out. With Delta, it's all a little unpredictable, but absolutely it could be a good Christmas, and that's really important because for retailers, many of them in the discretionary category make up to 2/3 of their profits at that time of year. So they're really counting on that to replenish those decimated cash reserves.
How much has the grants from government helped, Fleur?
Look, it's been good to see the states and the and national collaborate. It is a bit of a patchwork quilt, and for a retailer who might have a presence in more than one state, that can drive them a little mad trying to figure out what's actually available to them. We're getting feedback that on a staffing level, the pandemic payment is working relatively well. With the other payments to business, it's mixed. I mean, the most important thing really that we need to see is rent relief, and that's only happened in Victoria, New South Wales, and most recently in the ACT. So we're really looking to the other states and the Northern Territory to come to the party on rent relief for retailers.
How desperate is it for many for the borders to open quicker rather than later? We talk about suffocation of big cities closing down, but those borders have a very similar effect.
Absolutely desperate. So there's many flow-on effects from the border closures as most of you be aware, and supply chain ease is one of them. Getting workers across the border, you'd be surprised how many retail workers need to actually get across the border for their work. Not to mention just the supply of goods and services, and of course that domestic tourism spend, which is so critically important. We're looking at $60 billion worth of spend that is being focused locally, and without the international tourism, that's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Fleur, thank you so much for getting up early today. We look forward to catching up with you soon.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.